Alright, guys, welcome back to more Ignorance in Basketball. Now, look, game 3, was it pretty? No. Am I worried? Of course not. Look, Colt, and if you're new, this is not a YouTube channel, it is not a basketball page, it is a cult. This is what we have to realize, okay? I think we need to take a step back and just kind of check ourselves a little bit, because in the Discord there was a lot of pouting, a lot of people were upset, and I was thinking, the Phoenix Suns got all this credit, right, for winning 8 games in a row in the bubble. They just won 9 games in a row in the playoffs, which I think we can agree is a lot harder to win, right? And we're mad because they lost 1 game. I think we just need to check ourselves and just be like, wow, the fact that the Suns won 9 playoff games in a row is insane. And they're 2 games away from making it to the finals. And let's be real, whoever they play in the East, it's a championship. It's a championship. As much as I despise Colin Cowherd because he's annoying and always talks about college football like I give a fuck, every analogy is either about Tom Brady. He'll be talking about the Suns and just bring up Tom Brady. I'm like, bro, is he your boyfriend? Why do you talk about this man so much? It's creepy, but whatever. Even though I don't like Colin Cowherd, we do agree on this. This is the finals, because the Bucks and the Hawks are going to get destroyed by whoever they play coming out of the West, which will be the Phoenix Suns. So basically the Suns are 2 games away from a championship, so we just got to relax and just think about that. I'm not saying the rage is over. I'm not saying we're going to start talking like fucking nerds over here, but just think about that when you're pissed off about game 3, okay? And here's some things that I noticed, okay? Here's some things that I think the Suns need to change to win game 4. First off, let's just talk about the obvious stuff. The refs were garbage. I know it. We saw it. But what do you want me to do? The refs have been hoeing the Suns all playoffs. It's not going to stop next game. It's just what the reality is. They don't want the Suns to win because they'll lose money. They didn't want him beating LeBron, but thank God that the Lakers can't make goddamn jump shots, so that helped. And they didn't want a Nuggets sweep, but the Nuggets are garbage, so there was nothing they could really do about it. Now, this Clipper team, unfortunately, is actually pretty good. Reggie Jackson, I don't know how that happened, but he's good. You basically have to treat him like a damn all-star. Whenever they need a big 3, he hits it. He's able to get to the paint. He's able to finish over Mikal and Cameron Johnson, which is really annoying. Zubats is playing well. He's blocking shots. Paul George, still a pussy, but if it's not a moment that matters, he's able to score. Quick announcement before we move on to the rest of the video, but I just got a text message from YouTube and they wanted me to tell you guys that if you like this video and or subscribe to the channel, Paul George will legally change his name to bitch. I don't know why. I don't know how YouTube has that kind of power, but I'm just letting you guys know. Let's get back to the video. So, Terrence Mann is actually playing pretty good. So, Patrick Beverley is still a subhuman. I will never give you a compliment. Fuck you. But this Clippers team is for real. Doesn't mean they're better than the Suns, but this is the best team they've played. So the fact that they lost a game, I'm just saying I think we can relax. I think they lost for a couple reasons. Number one, they did not match the Clippers' intensity at all. The fact that how small this team is and they won the rebound battle by damn near 10 should tell you everything you need to know. They won all the 50-50 balls. Yes, they got the calls, but they were winning the 50-50 balls, damn near all of them. Like I said, getting more rebounds. They were the better defensive team, even though we'll get into the shooting later. I don't think that's what exactly did it, but they were just better on all fronts. Now, more technical stuff. I noticed that obviously they're going to ISO for Ayton a lot, like Reggie Jackson, Paul George were doing that a lot, running the pick and roll and trying to get switches on Ayton. And here's the difference between Ayton and the rest of these trash centers that the Lakers have played. Ayton can hold his own. So when they do that, I think they should just trust him to be able to contest and stop helping off of shooters because they're getting killed. I don't know why the Suns have not been able to run this team off of the three-point line yet. Actually, I do. It's just because Like I said, they're not playing with a great defensive intensity. And I'm glad that they lost this game because hopefully it'll wake them up. Like, this is not the Nuggets. You can't play at like 60% effort and get the win. You actually have to try against this team. So I think that'll be a big change that we'll hopefully see next game. And I think so because I heard them talking about it in the post game too. I think they should play faster. I noticed that even when Campaign was out, hopefully he'll be back game 4. But if not, let's just say I expect him to not come back, right? I did notice that Chris Paul was starting to play faster and things were getting better because of that later in the game. Because it was a game. As poorly as the Suns had played from beginning to end, with like 3-4 minutes left, it was a very, very winnable game. Hell, even 2 minutes left, it was a winnable game. And another positive thing is, even though Chris Paul could not make a goddamn jump shot to save his life, he was able to get to his spot whenever. Booker, we'll talk about later, but Chris Paul was able to get to that right block anytime he wanted to, and he was able to get that shot off anytime he wanted to. I know he couldn't make a jump shot the other day, but I've been watching Chris Paul for a long time, and I've never seen him have 2 bad playoff games in a row. So I think we're good on that. COVID or no COVID, I think we're good. So I'm not worried about that. And as far as Booker goes, he struggled throughout these playoffs. He had 2 bad playoff games against the Lakers, went back home, and he was dominant ever since. So I'm expecting to see something more along those lines. I don't think Patrick Beverley is the fucking Devin Booker stopper. Because Patrick Beverley is a subhuman and he lives in the sewers. So I'm not worried. I think game 4 should be fairly easy, honestly. Because, let's just look at this objectively, right? The refs were garbage. Chris Paul had his, worst game of the season? Devin Booker was even worse than he was in game 2. They both had turnovers that they don't normally have. Cameron Payne wasn't there. DeAndre Ayton wasn't even really being used in the second half. And nobody else could make a jump shot. And they still almost won this game with how important it was to the Clippers. So I think the Suns will be okay. Even if they lose game 4, which I don't think they will, I wouldn't be worried. I'll be pissed, but I'm not worried that they're going to lose the series. Like I said, Chris Paul will continue to get better. I think Booker will continue to get better. This team is amazing at bouncing back from losses. And like I talked about earlier, or I don't know, I've recorded this video like 7 times. I don't even know if I talked about this in the beginning, but if I didn't, here it is. It's not like the Clippers have figured some shit out that the Suns just can't combat. You know what I mean? It's not like they're too big or they have some matchup problem that the Suns can't handle. They were more intense than us. They played better defense. They had more energy. They were more desperate. That was it. That was the game. Hell, if the fucking Suns match their rebounding, they probably win this game. That was the game. That's the end. There was no crazy shit. It's not like they unlocked or figured some shit out. Suns shot poorly and played bad defense. They played soft the other day and they lost. That's it. I don't think they'll do that 2 games in a row. They haven't done it damn near all season. So I'm not worried. But let's get into the shooting statistics to see what really went wrong. So, yeah, the Suns shot 39% from the field. It's pretty fucking bad. The Clippers' defense was pretty good, but it wasn't that good. They shot 31% from 3, which obviously they can do better, but if not, they still can win. 43 rebounds to the Clippers' 51. Like, that's unacceptable. You should be winning the rebound battle every fucking game. Assists only 24. I'm surprised they had that many with how poorly they shot. 3 blocks, 5 steals. They still kept the turnovers low, which is good, with 10. And then points in the paint. See, usually they were destroying the Clippers with points in the paint. But this time they only had 2 more. The other 2 games they had 30 more and 20 more. I think that was a huge difference as well. Now, the Clippers, as disgusting as they are, shot 45% from the field, which they've shot every game. 35% from 3, which is better. At least they didn't get off 53s. They got off 34 this game. So I guess they guarded the 3-point line a little bit better. And again, like, as sorry as the defense was, the Clippers only scored 106 points. So not Like I said, it's not like they were amazing tonight. They just played a little bit harder, or really a lot harder, and shot better. They had 51 boards, they had 20 assists, 5 blocks, 8 steals, and 11 turnovers. I think they should be able to get that number up, especially if they play with some actual defense. They haven't played good defense since the Lakers series, legitimately. I think they breezed through the Nuggets, and I told you, they weren't trying in any of those games. The Lakers series, they were trying. Their defensive intensity in that Lakers series was much higher than it was in either of these series, and I'm expecting to see more of that type of energy in Game 4. Because they got punched in the mouth. The fucking Clippers were talking shit. They were mocking them. It reminded me of that Game 3 loss against the Lakers. And we remember what happened in Game 4, Game 5, and Game 6. That's more of what I'm expecting to happen. I think this is kind of what they needed. They were playing soft, like I said. And we'll see what happens. Let's get into the Suns' shooting numbers because they were not muy bien. So Torrey Craig, 15 minutes, 1 of 4 from the field, 0 of 1 from 3, and he had 4 points and only 1 board. That should never happen again. Jay Crowder, he actually shot pretty well. 3 of 7 from the field, 6 of them were threes. He had 9 points and 6 boards. That's pretty good. Now, he had some tic-tacky fouls, and, I remember one of those fouls on Paul George, that three-pointer, that was complete bullshit. And here's another thing. The Suns fouled 3 3-point shooters this game. They don't even do that in a week. This team is so good defensively, not just because of the players that they have, but because they've been so disciplined. Not expecting that to happen again. Cameron Johnson, again, he shot pretty well. 4 of 7 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3, 12 points, 2 assists, 5 boards, a solid game. Ayton, always efficient, 36 minutes. He only got 13 shots, which, for him is about average, honestly. But he finished with 18 points and 9 boards. Not bad. I still think they could have gone to him a lot more late, but it is what it is. Now, Mikal had a good game, finally. 5 of 8 from the field. He only played 26 minutes, though. He did get into foul trouble early. 2 of 5 from the 3, 13 points, 2 assists, 6 boards. It's like everybody shot well except for our guys. Chris Paul, unfortunately, did not play that great. First game back, it makes sense. He's rusty. He hasn't done anything basketball-related in 2 weeks. We can't expect this man to be fucking the guy we saw in the Nugget series. But he was 5 of 19 from the field, 2 of 7 from 3, 15 points. He did have 12 assists and 2 boards. Now, like I said, I have never seen this man have 2 bad playoff games in a row. I'm expecting much better things next game. Booker, 40 minutes, played even worse. 5 of 21 from the field, 1 of 7 from 3, 15 points, 5 assists, 5 boards. Now, again, we've seen this before from him. Maybe not this bad, but close. And in the Lakers series, and he turned it around. And I expect him to do the same again. I don't think Patrick Beverley is the Devin Booker stopper. Why? Because he is a subhuman. Cameron Payne, he only played 4 minutes because of the injury. He was 1 of 4. And he finished with 1 assist and 2 points. Saric, 12 minutes. He only took 2 shots. It's very Saric-like. Not that Dario-like. But he was 50%. So that's cool. None of them were threes. He did have 7 boards, which is definitely Dario energy. And he finished with 2 points. Etuan Moore, again, has just not been the guy we've wanted to see. He only played 5 minutes, and some of them were the trash minutes. 1 of 5 from the field, 2 points, 1 assist, 1 rebound. So, like I said, in conclusion, I'm not worried at all. I was kind of expecting this loss. I figured if the Suns were going to lose the game, it would be this one. Because the Clippers would be extra desperate if they know that if they go down 3-0, it's over. And we got their best effort. They didn't shoot amazingly, but they played way harder. They won all the 50-50 balls. They killed them on the glass. And I just don't expect the Suns to let that happen 2 games in a row. If Devin Booker turns it around, if Chris Paul turns it around or not, I'm still expecting a win. And again, speaking of them, we've seen them turn it around, and I've never seen Chris Paul have 2 games like this in a row in the postseason. So I'm expecting big things from both of them. I'm expecting some defensive changes. I think they didn't move the ball around enough. I think they played too slow, and the defensive intensity was not there. Really, there was no intensity, to be honest. They played real lackadaisical, and it's expected. When you win 9 games in a row, I would assume it's kind of hard to stay super motivated, you know. We've seen this team bounce back from loss as well, so I'm expecting good things next game. I hope this video helped. If you made it to the end, I appreciate you. And that's it. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.